Hey everyone, it's ML120 here, and I'm here with the first ever Q&A, and we'll wait a little bit. We'll see who joins because Q&A is like where you ask, is basically a live stream where you ask me questions, and a lot of YouTubers do it, and I decided to give it a try. We'll see who joins so far. So far, nobody's really joined, but, oh, one person's joined, but yeah. So, when you guys do join, feel free to ask me some questions or like here's the rules though. How this works. The questions need to be nice and they need to be respectful. Like no, they can't be request questions and no rude questions or no really immature questions. Guys, let's try to keep this a good channel. Let's not make this a discriminative channel or not this channel. So the questions need to be nice and polite. No rude questions. All right, with that being said, that's that. So go ahead and feel free to ask me anything. See, Shadow's joined. So go ahead and ask me some questions. Well, okay, Nathiel Fanboy 2004's here as well, and well, okay, I will say this though. Then I do, yeah, you now. What? Well, Big K, I wouldn't know because I think he is, but I'm not gonna go see Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness because for those of you that obviously do or do not know, I am MCU retired after Spider-Man No Way Home. Like, I had long planned to, after I saw Spider-Man No Way Home, I was gonna retire from the MCU, and yeah, but instead of reviewing Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, I'm gonna actually be maybe this Friday going to watch Everything Everywhere All at Once. I've heard so many great buzz about it. But yeah. Other than that, I think maybe he is or not in Multiverse of Madness, but I'm probably just gonna Google spoilers for Multiverse of Madness and did I watch foreign animated films? No, I have not. I have not watched foreign animated movies. I've heard of them though, but I haven't watched really any of them except. Oh wait, actually, I think I watched My Neighbor Totoro, an English dub of some Hayao Miyazaki films, but no other foreign animated films. All right. Well, I hope you enjoy it, Shadow. And like so far, guys, I'm hearing some mixed. Back to Multiverse of Madness, I'm hearing some kind of mixed things about it so far. So that kind of doesn't really surprise me. All right. Well, this is Star. My favorite Star Wars movie, Big K, is easily Empire Strikes Back. Like a lot of people's. My second favorite is A New Hope. My third favorite is Return of the Jedi. My fourth favorite is Revenge of the Sith. My fifth favorite is Rogue One. My sixth favorite is The Phantom Menace. My seventh favorite is Attack of the Clones. And the bottom four worst are easily now The Force Awakens. It's fine. There are some things I like about it. There are some things I really do hate about it. And I'm not a big fan of it just in general. Solo is just a pointless cash grab that doesn't really feel like Han Solo. It kind of ruined the mysteriousness of the character. Rise of Skywalker sucks. I don't plan on watching it again. Last Jedi is a fucking abomination. I will never watch that piece of shit again. And there you go. Yes, happy May the 4th, everybody. Since it is Star Wars Day. The, the day of my favorite franchise. Despite some misses, it's that. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm trying to think of what to say here, but Star Wars was like the fourth with you always. Big K, am I looking forward to Halloween Ends? Yeah, I mean, now I'm gonna get a lot of shit for saying this, but I thought Halloween Kills was pretty good. Like, some people are gonna get mad at me for saying that because I know a lot of people hated Halloween Kills, but me personally, I think I'm one of the few people that actually still enjoyed it. I mean, yeah, I still had some problems with it. Like, I didn't like how they treated Laurie in that movie. Laurie deserved better in that movie, and I don't. And yes, guys, I'm one of the people who hates the "Evil Dies Tonight" chant. But despite some of those problems, I still enjoyed Halloween Kills for what it was. I mean, yeah, the ending wasn't really good, but I kind of knew it was going to end some. Do you watch musicals like Into In the Heights? I haven't seen In the Heights, and I don't know anything about it. But guys, like a lot of people, some people even go a little over far with their hate. They're like, "This is the worst Halloween movie ever." And no, I mean, it's not one of the best, but I wouldn't really call it that because there are so many worse Halloween sequels. Like, guys, we already have Halloween 5, Halloween 6, the Rob Zombie movies. Oh, and do I need to mention Halloween fucking Resurrection as living proof for the worst Halloween movies ever? Yeah, Halloween Resurrection is definitely the worst one. Like, I have a great surprise for you guys. This is Resurrection. Fuck you. Yeah, I would watch Kills over either of those five movies any day. I kind of just put it back though. This is also kind of supposed to be a Q&A, but I'll hit it again after the stream. Like, man, I could do that to several other bad sequels, like Alien 3. I could punch. Let's see. If TCM 2022 got a DVD release, I would definitely punch that shit for sure. Heck, I would punch almost just about any of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre sequels, except for Part 2 and the two remake films. Those are the only follow ups to Texas Chainsaw I enjoy. But when it comes to worst slasher franchises, that one takes the cake. Easily. Um, what's an unpopular film that I personally like? Well, I have a lot of those. Let's see, okay. Ah, Lucamus Prime just joined. Perfect timing. Well, when it comes to unpopular movies I like, well, I liked Glass. I liked The Matrix Revolutions. I liked The Good Dinosaur. What else did I like? I did kind of, I guess, somewhat like RoboCop 2, even though I have problems with it. Um, let's see, what else can I think of? I guess you already heard me talk of Halloween Kills, so I guess that could kind of count. But oh yeah, and I also did like the two Venom movies and Gamer, aka that Gamer movie from the directors of Crank. What else? And the Fantastic Four duology. Those are some unpopular films I like. So yeah, I like some bad movies every once in a while. I don't have to like just good movies. Well, how did I first learn about The Godfather and watch it? Well, I first watched it through my wisdom teeth recovery because I couldn't do anything when I was recovering from wisdom teeth. Like I could barely eat some of the foods I liked. I kind of had to lie in bed most of the time. So, that's watching The Godfather got me through wisdom recovery. And it's just, I've already heard about it when I was getting used to films and through other sorts of media. Except before wisdom recovery, I wasn't really allowed to watch it because I was too young. But ever since I've watched it, it's been my favorite movie of all time. And what's better is I like it did not get a fourth one, and they actually left it a trilogy the way it should be. If only a lot of other franchises would start leaving certain franchises at certain sequels for a change. And unfortunately, a lot of them have to get milked or ruined. But on to what else? Yes, would I say Sonic 2 is my favorite movie based on a video game? Absolutely. For sure. In fact, the Sonic films are my favorite one. Yes, Big K, I do hope we get a 13th Friday 13th movie. We need another one. I mean, Michael Myers got to come back. Candyman got to come back. I hope they make another Candyman film too. I mean, because of the way that Black movie from last year ended, Leatherface came back. We did not need that though. That movie stunk. So I would, instead of Leatherface coming back, we should have had Jason come back. Jason actually deserves to come back. Because, like, oh yeah, and Ghostface came back. I almost forgot about Ghostface. For the Scream movie, we got this here. So yeah, Jace. So yeah, we deserve another Friday 13th movie. Maybe just one more Friday 13th movie, and then it got 13 films. And I'd also like to see Freddy Krueger come back for one last movie, and then no more Elm Street movies after that. Just have Robert Englund play the character one more time, and then be done. Instead of just getting a new actor and playing him constantly like they did with the remake. We don't know how that remake turned out. But yeah, I like to see Jason or Freddy come back. If we could bring those guys back. And if we could give Chucky his TV show. Favorite video game? Yes, Lucas Prime. I have seen the Spielberg's Tintin movie, except I haven't watched it in ages. My favorite video game series would have to be the two Red Dead Redemption games. When it comes to I mean, some people can say, what about Grand Theft Auto? I've only played like a few, only not very many of the Grand Theft Auto games. I've only played like 5 or 4. And Shadow, my favorite movie of this year so far, The Batman, very obviously. The Batman is easily my favorite movie of 2022, and it probably will stay that way. Most likely. I wouldn't be surprised if it does. Because nothing else will ever, no other movie I've seen this year has really topped it. Nice. J4 is his favorite game. My favorite video game would have to be, oh, Big K? No, I have not played Red Dead Revolver. My favorite video game of all time is Red Dead Redemption 2, or sometimes I'd even say Spider-Man 2018 for the PS4. Those are my top 2 favorite video games. For modern video games, when it comes to older video games, it's the first Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for video games. Older video games, anyways. Like for the Genesis or the Super Nintendo. And when it comes to me, if I ever played Mario, yeah, I played some Mario stuff, but like mostly Mario Karts or Super Smash Brothers, but I was never really a big fan of Mario. The only Mario things I really liked were Mario Karts, Super Smash Brothers series, and the first 2 Mario and Sonic games I did enjoy because, like, say this, guys, like, yeah, yes, it did subvert my expectations because the trailers made it look like just another generic family road trip movie, and I really like it was not that. That was actually really nice for a change. That's kind of the thing with Lord and Miller. The trailers for their movies always make it look bad. Yeah. Yes, Big K. The sequel will have Venom in it, except it's going to be only for the PS5. So, I guess that means I'm going to have to blow money on a PS5. just so I can play the sequel. Yeah, screw the Oscars. The Oscars are a big joke. Who even cares of the Oscars anymore? But back to my like video game question and answer. And then of course Mario and Sonic. Like with Mario and Sonic, like it's a crossover you don't expect because they're video game characters not from the same company. So it was like nice we got to see two video game icons cross over to play in the Olympics. And yes, he will be voiced by the Candyman himself, who also voiced The Fallen, Revenge of the Fallen. Now, while I hated Revenge of the Fallen, I wish we got to see more of Tony Todd. Like seriously, you have Candyman voicing The Fallen. Like you have a horror icon voicing one of your villains, and they treated The Fallen like absolute shit in that movie. Like we should have saw more of him on screen. Like Megatron should have like. Here's how Revenge of the Fallen should have ended. It should have ended with Megatron returning and killing Optimus, and there's a perfect cliffhanger. The Fallen should have been the villain in the entire movie. Like, now that would have been slightly better. Some people could say it probably still would have been bad, but at least it still would have been it would have had a reason for a third film to be made. Like, and heck, that movie should have even came out in 2010, 3 years after the first one, because because of the writer's strike basically almost ruining it. Like, like seriously, if they just decided to just film it in 2009, like they probably would have actually had a script to work with. Yeah, Dark of the Moon wasn't really not really a big fan of Dark of the Moon either, but it definitely was an improvement, and there were some things I liked about Dark of the Moon. But all in all, guys, Revenge of Dark would have been better as just two back-to-back sequels, like to me, anyways. Yeah, yeah, it really should have ended that way. Actually, would have been a genius setup for Dark of the Moon. My favorite Indiana Jones movie, Big K, is easily Raiders of the Lost Ark. And am I excited for 5? Not really. I mean, seriously, like just look at what happened. See, and the fanboy 2004, but just guys, look at what happened with Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was not well received, and although it was still better than a new trilogy that Disney made. I mean, at least it still did not treat Indiana Jones like shit and gave him a role, and at least still provided an ending for his character. But it was still not a good sequel. And I know 5 is gonna suck because one, it's made by Lucasfilm and Disney, who made, and I know like just the sequel trilogy was not good, and I can predict Indiana Jones 5 is gonna meet the same results. And now that Lucasfilm is run by a woman I don't like. So yeah, I am not excited for Indiana Jones 5, and I know it's just gonna meet the same fate as Star Wars now. So I really wish they did not make 5 at all. It's not needed. If heck 4 wasn't even needed either. Like Indiana Jones only worked as a trilogy. For me, the Indiana Jones franchise is only Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, and The Last Crusade. That's how the franchise should have stayed. Because like last people can say Last Crusade's anyone's may not have been overly satisfying, but think about this, guys. Indiana Jones actually got to reunite with his dad in Last Crusade. His dad finally let go of the grail he wanted to pursue, and he valued his son more as the real treasure he wanted to find. Them reuniting again was a treasure they were going to find on the journey. It wasn't just the grail. It wasn't really the grail they needed. They just needed to reconnect with one another, and that was pretty much a perfect way to end Last Crusade. It was kind of perfect, really. Like, yeah, heck, even Temple of Doom kind of ends that way. Like, Indiana Jones decides not to pursue the fame, and he gave the rock back to the village because he knew, like, if he gave it back to his place, the place would have just put it in a museum, and he knew the villagers needed it way more because their village was all run down by the thuggy. It's kind of perfect that way. The only time that franchise really ends with Ark being sent back to his home country was Raiders Lost Ark, but Except in Raiders of the Lost Ark, the Ark was not put in a museum. It was boxed up and it was stored away in a warehouse so it would never be found by anybody. Because because of the Ark's deadly power. So yeah. That's Raiders was the only time it really has ends with him bringing back an artifact to his area. But yeah, Indiana Jones is only 3 movies. That's purely it. Same with like Star Wars. I love the originals and prequels, and it's only those 6. Big K, I'm not gonna go watch Creed 3. I mean, I like the first 2 Creed movies, but I don't see a reason for it to exist. I believe Creed perfectly ended both the Rocky franchise and the Creed franchise with Creed 2. Like, I believe it ended both Adonis and Rocky storylines perfectly. I don't see a reason for a Creed 3 to come out. Like, I viewed Creed 1 and 2 as just more of an epilogue to the Rocky franchise because Rocky's full story truly ended with Rocky Balboa, and I can accept Creed and Creed 2 as just more of an epilogue of him finding a new trainer to carry on his legacy. That's how I interpreted it. Yeah, I'm probably not going to go watch Creed 3. What else do like? Oh yeah, and I'm also like, want to know what's really stupid though? Across the Spider Verse. Well, I'll get to that in a bit. Looking forward to Evil Dead Rise. Well, I need to see a trailer for it first before I. When a trailer comes out, I'll probably think of my opinion then, but I'll have to wait and see. But apparently, Across the Spider Verse just got bumped to June 2023, and apparently it's not for what you. It's I don't think it's for what you guys think, but no, I didn't really miss much, Blue D. But it's not delayed for the reasons you think, but the bump I think it was to help Laura Miller make it way better, and they changed Across the Spider Verse the title of Across the Spider Verse Part 2 to Beyond the Spider Verse. So I like it's not called Part 1 or Part 2 anymore because that's just really generic to me. Like that title just does not work at all. Only the Part 1 and Part 2's only work for Deathly Hallows. But but yeah, I don't think it's really a good idea to be delaying that thing to June 2023 because 2023 is 5 years after 2018 when Into the Spider-Verse came out, and it's a Laura Miller project, and I say that because look at another Laura Miller project, the Lego Movie. It was a massive success with critics and at the box office, and it spawned a sequel they were supposed to release in 2017. Nope, that didn't work because they were already busy with Lego Batman and Lego Ninjago, so they bumped to 2018. But then, nope, hey, let's just ship this thing all the way to 2019. And look what happened to Lego Movie 2. Yeah, yeah, but then they changed it to Endgame. But then look at Lego Movie 2. Came out in February 2019, 5 years after Lego Movie 1. Well, we'll just have to see if he appears in more films. And it was moderately received well by critics, not as much as the first one. But look at the box office. Only a 34 million opening weekend compared to the nearly 70 million opening weekend of the first one. And it probably led to because people just lost interest at that rate. Like, so yeah, this is why I think delaying Across the Spider Verse to 5 years was a stupid idea to begin with because it's probably going to meet the Lego Movie 2's fate. Like, delays are getting old now. Just keep it, like, seriously. But, like, when it comes to my thoughts on Lego Movie 2, I'm one of the few people that did not like that sequel, actually. I liked it a little bit at first, but then I've rewatched it a second time and I don't like it that much now. So, let's pray Across the Spider-Verse better not meet the same fates. But now when it comes to the Batman's Joker, we'll we'll just have to see more of him if he appears more. Yes, yes, Big K. They are making a big mistake putting Amber Heard in Aquaman 2. I hate Amber Heard, guys. Like, oh my god. In general, I just barely ever like talking about Amber Heard. Like, one, she ruined Johnny Depp's career. Two, she's just not a good actress. And three, I didn't like the first Aquaman movie. In fact, I thought it was kind of bad. Like, the first one was overly long, boring. There was barely much action in the film. The only things I liked of the first one were Jason Momoa's performance, Patrick Wilson's character. I'd rather like the move. I'd rather the movie focused a little more on Patrick Wilson's character when it came to side characters. And I liked Aquaman's family in the film, and the visuals. Everything else sucked, especially her character the most. Hey, True Fire Pink Guy. So yeah, I'm definitely not seeing Aquaman 2, and I hope Aquaman 2 bombs for that decision. What I would rather watch are Black Adam and Shazam Fury of the Gods. Those are DCU movies I would rather go see, and I'm actually willing to go watch. Because I actually liked the first Shazam movie. Black Adam, I haven't heard much about, but we'll see. We'll see when I see trailers for his movie. But Shazam Fury of the Gods, that I am excited for. Although I kind of wish they brought Dr. Savannah back because the end credits of the first one kind of teased his return. Well, Blue D, I lost respect in Ezra Miller. Have I watched the new Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer? Yes, I have. I posted the Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer on my channel, and I am looking forward to the show. First. Like, and after Shazam 2, I may actually also think of retiring from the DCEU, unless they decide to stick with Zack Snyder's verse. Unless Warner Bros. Decides to allow Zack Snyder to continue his vision. Because I want to see Zack Snyder's vision continue after Zack Snyder's Justice League cut. But knowing the dumbasses Warner Brothers are, they probably won't allow it. So I wouldn't be surprised if I end up retiring from the DCU after Shazam 2. For me, the fourth, I like. Well, I'll have to check it out later on today. But I am excited for that show. I think I can tell it's going to be much more exciting to watch than Stranger Things 4. Because that's a show I'm way more excited about. Kenobi is a show I'm more excited about than that. Because here's the thing with Stranger Things. Yes, I reacted to season 4's trailer, but here's the thing though. Stranger Things season 1 was awesome. Stranger Things season 2 was okay. And Stranger Things season 3 sucks. Yeah, I really hope so too. I really hope it ends up being like The Mandalorian. Then season 3 had a fine finale and a fine later half, but the first half was just embarrassingly awful to sit through. So that's why I'm not really too hyped for season 4, because they're just getting worse. Yeah, yeah, Big K. They're releasing a lot of crappier content lately. They're ending so many good shows that I liked, and the new ones that keep coming out now are not drawing my attention. Like, they've really gone downhill. And this still does not mean I'm getting Disney Plus, guys. I don't ever want to get Disney Plus. Yeah, easily. In fact, heck, I kind of wish Stranger Things were only 2 seasons to begin with. Going to watch Rob Zombie's Monsters film? Well, Big K, let's eh, Rob Zombie is not one of my favorite film directors. I mean, he's only had two good movies I really enjoy, and one I find decent. The only movies I liked from Rob Zombie were House of a Thousand Corpses and The Devil's Rejects. Almost every one of his films after that has sucked. Like, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2007 was a bad remake. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 was an absolute piece of shit. Once again, like I did before. Yeah, this film was a piece of shit. Yeah, the one where apparently Rob thought it would be such a great idea for Michael to take off his mask and scream "die," something the character never does. The character's not supposed to talk. He's not supposed to show his face. Like, I don't know why a lot of people like Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, but I still don't. It's still a piece of shit regardless, fans or not. But and then of course I haven't seen his animated film Haunted World El Super Beasto, but Lords of Salem I thought was actually okay for what it was. Granted, there are still some problems with it, but it was still better than some of the stuff he made currently. 31, his film 31 almost bored me to sleep. Like, that's probably his most boring movie. And then came his last one, Three from Hell. Three from Hell, I also hated. Because now I liked the first two films in the Firefly Studios, Corpses and Rejects. Three from Hell was a pointless, unneeded movie that was literally rushed. And this, like, I have a feeling this should have just came out in 2010 or 2011 when Sid Haig was around, was able to still be in films and was still in good condition, in somewhat. Should have came out around those 2 years. But in 2019, like, even though Sid Haig was in bad condition and filmed his like one little scene, Rob Zombie decided, well, I guess I can't really put Captain Spaulding in the movie, so I'll just rush production anyway. I'll just replace him with some random family member, some random brother of Otis he never had, apparently. Yeah, his writing is the problem. It's because, like, the first two films, Otis never mentioned having any biological siblings. No, I have not watched Squid Games, but. So that's the thing, though. Like, on Otis's wiki, it mentioned he was adopted by the Fireflies. Do I like the Harry Potter films? Yes, I'll get to that in a little bit, but which one is my favorite? I'll get to that part after this answer. But yeah, like, it just felt like a cheaply made direct to DVD film, and you can see why it was only in cinemas for 3 days. I guess I'm kind of glad I didn't really end up seeing in any theaters that play in my area, because there weren't any theaters that were playing that movie in my area, and I guess I really lucked out. So yeah, The Munsters, not really excited for. I like it's not going to be rated R, not going to have a bunch of swearing like every other movie Rob thinks he needs to put in. Every single one of his movies needs to have. But I don't have hope for either. Now for the Harry Potter question. Yes, I like Harry Potter, and my favorite Harry Potter film is The Goblet of Fire. Second favorite, Part 2. Third favorite, Philosopher's Stone. Fourth favorites, Deathly Hallows Part 1. Fifth favorites is Half Blood Prince. There's like 8 movies, and then there's like, I can't count, but anyway, my favorite Harry Potter film is Goblet of Fire. And my least favorite two I think, are Chamber of Secrets, because it's over 3 hours boringly long, and that's one of the shortest books in the series. And then my weakest is easily Order of the Phoenix, because it's overly little too short, and especially for an adaptation of one of the longest books of the series. So there, yeah. But I did, and the reason I did not review Fantastic Beasts 3, nice choices. The reason I did not review Fantastic Beasts 3, because I didn't watch any of Fantastic Beasts films, and from what I heard, I lucked out. None of them look interesting to me. And I've heard the second one was really bad. And then, of course, you have it, and of course, and the Johnny Depp reasons. I don't need to mention that again. So yeah, and plus, so yeah, I don't really want to watch any of the Fantastic Beasts films because they don't even look good. I'll be right back, guys. I'm closing the wash. Okay, sorry about that. I had to get my clothes in the dryer. Yeah, me neither. So what did I miss? Oh, favorite Spider-Man actor? It's Tobey Maguire, easily. I think that's an obvious answer. Favorite Disney and Pixar movie? Well, the same question I asked Empire Productions interview. I have quite a lot. Actually, oh wait, I know my number one. It's Toy Story 3. That's my favorite Disney Pixar film. So it's my thoughts on Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Well, I like the Tim Burton film, and I'm gonna get a lot of shit for saying this, but I'm not a fan of the Gene Wilder adaptation. Like even Roald Dahl, even the author Roald Dahl hated the Gene Wilder adaptation, guys. I find the Gene Wilder adaptation a little overrated because, like, here's the thing though. Some people can say 2005 Charlie and Chocolate Factory was a little too dark. Well, fine. Maybe it was a little dark, but not as dark as like the Gene Wilder adaptation. Like the Gene Wilder adaptation, like they didn't make the no Blue D. He wasn't here. Like this was a question I asked him in when Lucamus Prime was interviewing him a few weeks ago. That was one of my questions for him. But thing though, the 2005 Tim Burton film didn't make the tunnel ride a scary nightmare fest like the Gene Wilder film decided to randomly do. And and like or heck, even like and I think even get started on the scene where and near the end where he yells at Grandpa Joe and Charlie just for accidentally touching some of their stuff. Like, yeah, no, it's okay, Blue D. Yeah, and the 2005 version is actually faithful to the book. Like minus like Willy Wonka having a dentist dad or anything. I don't care about that stuff. It's fine the way it is. I mean, I don't know really. I haven't paid much attention to it. In that one, so I think I might just rather stick with the Tim Burton film. And plus I actually saw the Tim Burton film in theaters. And I like, although the Tim Burton film always makes me hungry for chocolates. I will say that because I just love the design of the factory and like some of the designs of some of the stuff he makes in the factory and the very unique things in the factory he has and also unlike all the bad kids that also are on the tour that fall for some of the whole traps in the factory and are just never seen again. Like, and it makes the Gene Wilder film kind of makes it look like they died, which is a little. And I don't think sure they're a little bratty, but it doesn't mean they deserve to be trapped under there for good and never seen again. Like, so I actually like how the Tim Burton one actually lets them live somewhat, and actually we see them again leaving, so that they're still alive and okay. Come, that's what I kind of liked about that. And so that's why I kind of like the Tim Burton one a little more. And that's going to be a pretty unpopular opinion. Favorite Bond actor? Well, so far I've mostly seen Daniel Craig. See, and my favorite Bond film is easily my favorite Bond film with the Craig era is Skyfall. Then in second place it's Casino Royale. Third place it's No Time to Die. Fourth place it's Spectre. And my least favorite of the Daniel Craig films is Quantum of Solace, or Quantum of Solace, that it should be called. Man, Blue D, I have not seen Sweeney Todd, so I think I'd have to say Batman Returns is his most underrated film. Batman Returns and Corpse Bride are his most underrated films. And I think Burton's worst movie, yeah, it is. Yeah, I love Danny Elfman's score in that film. And I think Burton's worst movie would probably have to be Planet of the Apes to 2001 remake. Ugh, that would probably that would probably have to be the Batman and Robin of the Planet of the Apes movies. Yeah, Quantum of Solace is so boring. And heck, you want to know what's worse? Even though, despite being so boring, it's the shortest Bond movie at 106 minutes long. The other James Bond movies are literally 2.5 hours long, not 106 minutes. And it doesn't even feel like it's 106 minutes. Yeah, I don't blame him for not wanting to do another one. That movie, that was the one movie sucked. But thankfully, Rise of the Planet of the Apes redeemed that whole mess, and that's 10 years later, and we got a better Planet of the Apes trilogy in the 2010s, where all the films were good. Even though War was the weakest, it was still good. And none of them sucked. Alright, Big K. Favorite Saw film? The first one, easily. I know Cody Leach and other people say Saw 2 is their favorite, but for me it's easily the first one. Explains, but Saw 2. But Saw 2 is actually still a pretty good sequel. Spiral the Book of Saw, unpopular opinion, is the third favorite. I'll guess, well, yeah, nice. Dawn is also my favorite Planet Apes movie. I'll get to Adam Sandler in a little bit after this answer. Spiral from the Book of Saw, unpopular opinion, guys, is actually my third favorite of the franchise because it doesn't do the same shit repeatedly and actually tried to do something different for once. Like every other Saw movie that kept rehashing and repeating the same stuff. Except just make it gorier and gorier each movie. And then Saw 3 was would have been actually a pretty decent finale to the series and kind of should have stayed that way. Nice, glad you liked it. And then Saw 6, alright. Jigsaw, Saw 4, Saw 4, terrible. Saw 3D, an absolute piece of horseshit. There's my thoughts on the Saw films. And now thoughts on Adam Sandler. Like True Fire Pink Guy asked me. I think it's pretty decent. I think I mentioned Spiral as third place. I mentioned Spiral in third place before I mentioned Saw 3. I but well, I'll be sure to check it out. But when it comes to Adam Sandler, like I was asked, I think he's decent. I mean, yeah, he has a number of bad movies, but he also has some pretty good movies too. I feel like some people seem to pay more attention to his bad stuff more than the good stuff. Like he has quite a few good movies. Like he has that I can think of a lot of movies I like from him, like Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison, Big Daddy, Click, Anger Management, 50 First Dates. Oh yeah, the first two Hotel Transylvania movies. I think my favorite movie from him is Uncut Gems. Like he was so phenomenal in Uncut Gems, and I really wish. I feel like if he tried to do a little more of the more darker, dramatic roles, a little more than just the comedy stuff all the time, like I have a feeling people would respect him a little bit more because I don't think he deserves to be overhated a little too much because he actually is a pretty decent guy in real life. But I hope he does more roles like Uncut Gems because that's easily one of my favorite movies of all time, and like his performance was so great in that film. Unfortunately, I live in the area where it got dumped to Netflix, sadly, so would have killed to get to watch that in theaters. Because it never came to theaters in my area. It got dumped straight to Netflix in the Canadas. Ah, I'll have to watch that. But when it comes to my favorite comedy film from Happy Gilmore, that's my favorite. It's Happy Gilmore. That's my favorite comedy film from Adam Sandler. Like, that's just one of the funniest movies of the 90s in general. But I have quite a few favorite films from him. I mean, yeah, but yeah, there are still some bad movies he does, but he still has quite a few good movies too. And speaking of like favorite Stephen King film, The Shining from Stanley Kubrick. That's my favorite Stephen King film. But I have like, actually no, not just The Shining. There's also Shawshank Redemption. I haven't played games in 2022 yet. Yeah, I do know that Spider-Man turned 20 years old yesterday. My favorite Stephen King films: The Shining, The Shawshank Redemption, The Green Mile, The Mist, It 2017, were It Chapter 1 from 2017 I enjoyed. It Chapter 2 from 2019 I did not enjoy. What else can I think of? I think that's really it, really, for Stephen King films. Carrie from 1976 I think is a little overrated. It's not terrible, but I think it's a little too overpraised. I'm not really too big of a fan of that movie. In fact, speaking of that, I think there are quite a few horror films I kind of find a little overrated, but I can't really think of them right now. But yeah, well, I've never heard of that film, but and I have not seen the original Pet Cemetery, so I can't say anything about that. Ah, nice top three. Those are my top three as well. Although Shining for me is number one, Shawshank is number two, Green Mile is number three. Hopefully I'll get around to finally reviewing the Shawshank Redemption at some point this year because that's one of my favorite films of all time. Well, I think they're both good, but I think I'm one of the people that likes Tim Curry better as Pennywise. Like he was much. I feel like his Pennywise was much scarier because he actually looked like more of a clown. Like Bill's Pennywise, you could kind of tell was a supernatural being. Like just through his looks, you can kind of already tell this version of him was a supernatural being. Here, like in the Tim Curry version, the Tim Curry one actually looked like an actual clown. So that kind of made him a little scarier, and he had a much scarier voice. And it's an interesting fact, guys. Tim Curry was originally going to play Judge Doom in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but apparently he scared the shit out of Steven Spielberg. They casted Christopher Lloyd instead. I'm kind of glad they casted Christopher Lloyd instead because I feel because no one can top Christopher. No one was ever going to top Christopher Lloyd. What can I think of? Yes, yes, definitely right about that. Favorite Ninja Turtle is Leonardo. Leonardo's my favorite Ninja Turtle. Either that or Raphael. Those are my top two. Ah, yeah, nice choice. Ever seen Christine? No, I've never heard about that movie. No, my way. All right, Basket Case. I never heard about that film. It's a so Christine's about a killer car, and it's a Stephen King film. Ah, I've never heard of Basket Case either. Underrated Spielberg film. Well, I mentioned it's as in fourth place, but Blue D, my underrated Steven Spielberg film, is easily The Mist. I think that one's underrated. I know people talk about the ending of The Mist, but they don't really talk about anything else except for that. Like, and also it's because it's the last film Darabont would direct and then just kind of disappeared. I, I feel like Darabont needs to come back and do more films because I think he's a very underrated director. No, I have not seen that movie either. Most underrated movie I have ever seen. That is a very, very tough question. I'm gonna do, well, I'm gonna say underrated live action films are so far Spider Man 3, Superman Returns. Those two are extremely underrated films. And I think the two Matrix sequels are very underrated. Don't on Thomas Newman. I don't know, but my favorite Jurassic Park sequel is Jurassic World. That's my favorite Jurassic Park sequel. Actually, Jurassic World and the Lost World are my two favorite Jurassic Park sequels. The rest, the other two, I could care less about. Fallen Kingdom wasn't that good, and Jurassic Park 3 sucked. I've not seen Minority Reports. So, alright, well, in 30 minutes, alright, 30 more minutes, then I gotta wrap this up because, alright. Oh, he's the composer of the Shawshank Redemption. Well, I think he's a very underrated composer because those scores are really good. Right. A movie I liked that everybody else hated. I kind of mentioned that earlier in my live stream, but there are some movies I like that people hate. Again, how would I rank the Ghostbusters films? But then I caught that question in time. First one's the best one. Afterlife is in second place. Ghostbusters 2 in third place, and that 2016 abortion we don't speak of is bottom worst. Or as I call the 2016 abortion, Woke Busters. Woke Busters is a better title for that movie. Not Ghostbusters, Woke Busters. Ghostbusters 2 I didn't like because it's literally the first movie, and it literally made the whole ending of the first one completely pointless. It was kind of a big smack in the face to the first film's ending. Ghostbusters Afterlife was like the best of the sequels, and I know they just announced a new Ghostbusters film that's going to be a sequel to Afterlife, but I think that's a stupid idea. Because how that movie ended, there was no way you can do a sequel to that movie. So, so yeah, Ghostbusters the first film. Favorite Texas Chainsaw Massacre film is easily the first one from 1974. I know like some people such as Cody Leach say the remake is their favorites, but the original is my favorites. My second favorite is Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2. In fact, that's where I think the franchise should have ended, or should have stayed dead. Yeah, Ghostbusters 2 is boring and overrated as well because a lot of people apparently like it. My third favorites, alright, see ya, Shadow. Hope you enjoyed Multiverse of Madness. My third favorite is Texas Chainsaw The Beginning. Fourth favorite is the remake. Fifth favorites were, three. And then the worst, and then the worst three films in the franchise are easily Texas Chainsaw 3D, an absolute slap in the face to the whole franchise or the character of Leatherface by portraying him as some anti-hero. And oh god, you're probably thinking, do you think cuz? God, I hate that fucking quote so much. And then Leatherface, yeah, me neither. And then Leatherface 2017 is literally a cheap knockoff of Devil's Rejects, just with more escapees and just having the Texas Chainsaw setting thrown into it. And of course, oh yeah, and I also really hated the 2022 film because it was also an insult. It claimed like this is gonna not be like this is gonna erase all the sequels we're retconning. Guess what? You put Sally in the movie, you rip off Halloween 2018, aka Sally from the first one. You just kill her off because she only has a fucking shotgun to kill Leatherface, and you just kill her off like that. That's why you put her in the movie, just so she can die a shitty death. And then, like, it seems like they defeated Leatherface. Nope, Leatherface is alive, kills one of the dumbass Soul Survivor girls, and the car just drives on its own while the other Soul Survivor girls screaming, and the movie ends there as Leatherface is just dancing in the middle of the streets. So you pretty much just became the very sequels you were trying not to be. So that's kind of a hypocritical statement. Oh boy, Lucamus Prime, well, good luck with Basic Instinct. The first one's good, second one was embarrassing cringe. Like, good luck getting through two. Oh god. Good luck getting through the second one. Oh, you've been warned. And then, oh yeah, and then the next generation. Ugh. The next generation is just an embarrassment. My favorite actor of all time. That's a tough one. I don't really think I have an answer to that one. Because that is kind of a tough question, but yeah. Next, but yeah. The next generation is obviously the number one worst and always will be the number one worst. And heck, I didn't even like Matthew McConaughey's character in it. I thought his character was extremely annoying in that film. Like, some people say he's the only best thing about that movie. I disagree. There was nothing good about Next Generation at all. Like, everybody's so stupid as hell in that movie. Well, I guess you could say Al Pacino is one of them. Is for sure. Thoughts on Interstellar? I like it. It's not Nolan's best. It's not one of Nolan's best. It's kind of Nolan's weakest movie, but I still think it's a phenomenal movie. It's one of the films I wish I especially really loved Matthew McConaughey's performance in it. In fact, that's probably my favorite Matthew McConaughey performance, and he's been kind of going on a bit of a down slump lately. So, but that's the kind of movie, that's the kind of movie I wish. That's the kind of role I wish Matthew McConaughey would kind of try to go back to doing a little more, because I really liked him in that film. And I think he's actually a very phenomenal actor. It just kind of picks a lot of bad choices lately. Well, I'm sorry, I don't know what to think of. What's worse, Freddy's Dead or Jason X? Freddy's Dead, obvious. Freddy's Dead is far worse. Jason X is at least fun to sit through. Freddy's Dead is not, and Jason X is actually not my most hated Friday 13th film. That movie belongs to Jason Takes a Cruise Boat All the Way to Vancouver, or Jason Takes Manhattan as it's called. That's my most hated Jason movie. But Freddy's Dead, yeah, Freddy's Dead is far worse. Like all I see in this version of Freddy is just a bloody Looney Tunes character, just disguising himself as Freddy. So that is not. I will not call that thing Freddy Krueger at all. In fact, that whole movie feels like a Looney Tunes cartoon. There's nothing enjoyable about it. Who wants to see Freddy riding on a broom and cackling like the Wicked Witch of the West? That's their first opening scene. Has has any movie ever made me walk out very early in it due to how bad it is? I did walk well, I did walk out around like the final half of Matrix Resurrections when it was revealed how Neo and Trinity got revived. That was pretty much where I just walked out and was just done watching this piece of shit. Like that film was an absolute shit bomb. Like some people can say Matrix Revolutions is the one of the worst sequels ever made. Well, it's the weakest of the original three, but it's not that terrible. I don't think it's that terrible. I think a lot of sequels are worse. I actually kind of grown to like Revolutions over time. The Matrix, like, it actually provided a good send off to this story. Like, Neo sacrificed himself to Smith. Like, sure, then the machines didn't get defeated, but the machines and humans were now at peace with one another. That's actually a very decent ending if you think about it. Like, the Matrix is still active, but the humans get to leave whenever they want. Like, yeah, Crap Turtle is also just as boring, but like Matrix Resurrections though, what happened in this? What was so enjoyable about this? It was just an office party. The whole entire film, just them talking about the Matrix 4 video game or some pointless celebrity cameos or heck, it even undid Smith's defeat for no explained reason either. Like Smith died in Revolutions. Apparently Resurrections saying nope, he somehow survived for some weird reason. Yeah, I don't blame him. I almost fell asleep watching Crap Turtles. But actually, Crap Turtles and Matrix Resurrections were both films that almost made me sleep. Like Resurrections, Matrix Resurrections was just so boring. Like Reloaded and Revolutions had fun moments in them. Resurrections had zero good moments. In fact, there was not a single fun action sequence in the movie. All the action sequences were entirely ripped off from the original first one. Yeah, Pissurrections is a better title for it. Like, so apparently, yeah, apparently, because like having, apparently just rebuilding Neo alive is not a reward. Like, it literally, like, Revolution showed them carrying his dead body away in peace, like, mourning him, like, out of respect for ending their war between them. No, apparently, like, let's just. MPH was apparently watching the whole thing. It's like, I had to have you rebuild and revived along with your girlfriend and keep you all separated. Like, really? Like, they even. The Matrix Online even revealed Trinity survived. Like, did people not forget the Matrix Online revealed that? Hi, caramba, like, and apparently the Morpheus that was recasted was not even Morpheus. The real Morpheus actually died of old age. But anyway, moving on from that. But sorry about that answer going along. Like, yeah, Chef. And am I going to watch Top Gun Maverick? Yeah, I will. I like the first one. I mean, I've heard some pretty good things about this one so far. I'm glad it's finally coming out. But there's just kind of a problem though. That weekend has two movies I want to see coming out both that weekend. You have Top Gun Maverick that weekend, and you also have Bob's Burgers, the movie coming out. And I am actually a big fan of Bob's Burgers, that show. And I kind of want to see both of those movies. Like, Bob's Burgers is one of the closest, that Bob's Burgers movie is one of the closest thing we're probably going to get to a film adaptation of a more adult animated show in this kind of era. Kind of like what we got with South Park in the 90s and the Simpsons movie in the 2000s. No, I have not seen Six Underground. But so it's going to be a little hard picking which one to see and review first, but I will definitely be seeing Top Gun Maverick. So I guess I'll just probably watch Top Gun Maverick first. Because that one looks like the best. I mean, looks like the most exciting, not the best. I don't even know if it's best yet. Have I seen American Psycho? Yes, I have seen American Psycho. Ages ago, though. Only once. One of Christian Bale's most craziest roles before he played Batman. Well, all right. We gotta wrap this up in a little bit, guys, because it's all right. Just a few more questions, and then I gotta wrap this up in a little bit. Yeah, I kind of would like to see a sequel to that too, but all right. Last few questions, and because I gotta wrap this up in a little bit, guys, because I've got some things I gotta take care of, and wow, I, yeah, we're gonna need to wrap this up very soon. So, no, I've not seen Creep Show yet. Yes, it is definitely the best sequel that released late. Well, see you later. See you later, Blue D. Yeah, you should get some. Yeah, have a good sleep, dude. All right, I gotta go, guys. But this was a good Q&A. Like getting, it's actually a pretty good Q&A. Maybe I'll do another one eventually, but not right away. But until then, that guys, that'll be bye, True Pink Fire Guy. And that'll be it for this live stream. Thank y'all for watching. And if you like this, want to see more Q&As, and don't forget to like, subscribe to Movie Lover 120. Yes, it's my favorite Netflix movie. Well, I gotta go now, guys.